Well, hi there folks, it's Matt Haston here looking at this week's property market. Now, it was a short week, but certainly was an eventful one. Let's look at the RBA, who caught all the financial markets off guard when they decided to lift the cash rate by 25 basis points. Now, it was widely expected that we'd get a double whammy hit, a 50 basis point increase during the month, particularly after the strong rate hikes in both the US and the UK during the month. Now, this prompted a whole wave of headlines coming about what's the RBA up to, what's going to be their next move, and also what impact will this have on the property market. Many people were hoping that this confident move would prompt more buyers and sellers to engage with the market this spring, which, to be fair, is coughing and spluttering its way to close out the year. ANZ took a different view, and they believe the dovish pivot from the RBA is now only going to extend this rate rising cycle period. Although Shane Oliver from AMP had a very level-headed approach, and I believe he's got it spot on. He noted that mortgage holders around the country at the present time are paying the highest mortgage and interest rates in 10 years. And also, we've just moved through the fastest rate rising cycle since 1994. He cites 5 key reasons why the RBA's decision to slow down was spot on. Number 1 is that there is always a lag in the data around monetary policy, and it's good for the RBA just to sit back a little bit and pause and have a look what's unfolding through the economy. Number 2 is there is going to be mortgage stress around Australian households, and that's going to impact spending later this year. Number 3, there is good signs that global inflationary pressures are starting to ease. Number 4 is inflationary pressures here in Australia haven't been as bad as experienced around the globe. And then number 5, which is the big one, is there are still strong fears that a global recession is likely to take place. So in my view, Mr. Oliver's assessment is pretty much spot on and quite accurate, and this should also provide a little bit more confidence for buyers and sellers as we move deeper into this spring market. Now, speaking of the market and bringing all of that data down to what's happening with the property sector, we mentioned last week that the price and speed and veracity of these price declines around the country and also in Sydney have been slowing down. So is this market starting to turn around? CoreLogic during the week came out and they suggested that the house price correction will end in early 2023, although this came with a whole heap of caveats about what's the RBA going to do, what's happening with the rate rising cycle, what's happening with inflation and all of the global economy as well. So we'll have to see what unfolds over the coming months, whether or not that actually comes to fruition. Now, looking at the auction clearance rate, it was a long weekend, so we saw fewer properties go under the hammer, but that auction clearance rate again tilted back to 40% after we saw several weeks of positive improvement. So, what's happening at ground level? The market does remain patchy, but the good news is we are selling every property that does come to market, so that's a really good thing. But there's twists and turns to get properties sold. Some properties are seeing extended long campaigns, other properties are experiencing price declines in order to find that good buyer engagement, and then other properties are selling really well under the hammer. So from a consumer's point of view, you can understand it's just taking a little bit more time to understand the nuances of what's happening with each individual sale. So that leads us into this weekend, folks. I believe we're going to have a rain Armageddon, but it's going to take a lot more to stop us from opening properties this weekend. We've got some great properties open for inspection, and we look forward to seeing you out and about. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all next week.